will come to this happy place, welcome.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejados de las
This here's
puertas.
a wild ride in the
So today on Miles from Main Street, we're talking snacks. And Mikhailo is off in Disney World today. So I brought my beautiful wife, Tammy, along to help me out as we talk about snacks. Because we haven't really covered a lot of snack talk on the show before, I thought it would be good to do some snack talk with Tammy. So thanks for coming and helping me out, Tammy.
You're welcome. Hi, everyone.
So I know you brought a list of stuff of what you enjoy in the park, right?
I did, yes.
A lot of what we do here, as you guys know, is that we wish we were there. Because we're miles from Main Street. And with him gone this week, I've been able to get some pictures, and he keeps sending me pictures of food, and it is driving me crazy. So being able to talk about these snacks will help me get through his trip a little bit. And so this list you brought, why don't you get started? Let me know what we're starting with here.
Okay. I think we'll start with my favorite park, which is Magic Kingdom. Because it's the best. I don't care what Mikhailo says.
It is a pretty darn good park. Where are we going first?
The first place I always like to go is Sleepy Hollow.
And what are we getting at Sleepy Hollow?
Well, it depends. Are you in a sweet or savory mood?
Let's go sweet.
Then it's got to be the fruit Nutella waffle.
I'm always sweet.
That's debatable.
The Nutella and fruit waffle, I think that is a delicious option. The last time we were there, we got to sit at Sleepy Hollow it was at night, so the castle was all lit up, and it kind of feels like you're sitting like under the castle, like, and just, I don't know.
Yeah, I highly recommend that spot. I never knew that you had such a pretty view of the castle from there, especially at night. And there wasn't like a lot of people there. I don't know if that's because it was so late maybe, but you had like a really straight like view from like a side angle of it where nobody would be behind you for pictures and stuff, which was pretty cool. We got some nice pictures. And
if you're not sure where Sleepy Hollow is, it's to the left of the castle as you walk up the hub. It's going like across the bridge and into Liberty Square. So you're going to be just coming across the bridge, and Sleepy Hollow will be right there on the right. And you can order your food right at the corner of the building there. And then kind of like behind that building is the seating area we're talking about. And we got a really nice table right up along the walkway. This is the long walkway that'll lead you back towards to the back of the castle. This was spring break of 2021 that we were there. So they were still going through some of their COVID protocols. We had not gotten fireworks back yet. So that kind of played into this too. There were not a lot of people around at this point because there wasn't anything to wait for. So just being able to sit back and relax and enjoy this snack. Actually, this is kind of dinner for us at that point. Well,
it was later at night than that, I think, but maybe I can't remember. But we had the fruit Nutella waffle, but then the savory side is also a spicy chicken waffle, I believe it's what it's called. And that was really good too, but it does have a little bit of a kick to it.
It has quite a kick to it when you're eating most of it. I can attest to that. But it is sweet and spicy, so it can get a little much, I thought, for myself, but I did enjoy it.
And I don't think I mentioned, if you've never had the fruit Nutella waffle, it's a waffle with Nutella spread on it, and then it's got fresh strawberries, fresh blueberries, and does it have bananas? I can't remember now.
Yes,
Anybody
absolutely.
knows?
And so just so you're aware, when you go up to Sleepy Hollow, the fruit and the Nutella and fruit waffle, which I don't think they use the word Nutella, but it's a breakfast offering. And so after 11 o'clock or something, they're not going to offer it anymore. But when I walked up to them, I said, "Oh, can I still get that fruit waffle?" And they said, "Yeah, absolutely." So I was able to get that, which was terrific because that's exactly why we were there. So I see on your list we're heading over to Gaston's Tavern, huh?
Yep, that's always one of our favorites. We really like the giant cinnamon roll that they have there, and the LaFousse brew, which is a frozen apple juice with some kind of a cream on the top, I think, right?
Yeah, I believe it's a passion fruit foam that they put on the top. There's a toasted marshmallow,
Oh,
something
that's
or
right.
other to
Yep.
it.
So I highly recommend this one, especially the cinnamon roll, because it's huge and we're a family of 5. So it gives us a little bit of a bang for our buck. We can usually get away with just getting 2, and everyone has enough then that they're satisfied for a while, especially if we get a couple of the LaFousse brews to go with it.
Which are wonderful. I have not had the butter beer over at Universal, but this is kind of Disney's answer to that. And I think it's a really good treat to have. So um, I also would recommend asking for a little extra frosting. They'll give you a little cup of frosting to add to the cinnamon roll. I think that really helps out.
A mom tip for the cinnamon rolls is definitely have some wipes with you because they're a huge mess. If you have younger kids, you will have frosting and stickiness everywhere.
Great tip. I love that. She's probably talking more about me than the kids, but it's okay.
I wasn't going to call you out, but now that you mention it.
All right, moving on. So we take another left turn out of the hub and we're heading into Adventureland. And just as we're hitting that entrance sign to Adventureland, what are we finding?
The cheeseburger spring rolls. Now, here's the thing about those. They're really good, but they're really expensive and they're pretty small. And I think we're going to talk about it later, but Paige and I actually made these out of the Unofficial Disney Cookbook, and I thought they were just as good.
Yeah, they charge $9.50 for 2 small egg rolls at this point. And so it's cheeseburger and pepperoni pizza normally. They may have some different flavors. I think they've had a bacon mac and cheese in the past, which I think would be fun to try. But we got to try the cheeseburger and the pepperoni, and they were good. They were definitely good. They give you a dipping sauce to go with each of them, depending on what it is that you're getting. There's it's not a Thousand Island type of dressing, but it's something near that comes with the cheeseburger.
So when we made them ourselves, I had looked up the recipe for the sauce, or I tried to, and I couldn't find like anything official. But what it said people had come up with is that it encompasses all of the flavors that you would normally put on a cheeseburger. So they're thinking like there's mayonnaise in it, some ketchup in it, some pickle relish in it.
Well, that's awesome. So I think we'll sprinkle in the make it home stuff as we go here. And what we're referring to is the Unofficial Disney Cookbook. And it's written by Ashley Croft. And she has come out with this wonderful, wonderful book. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it, I think we found it at Walmart. I think somebody else may have found it at Target. So it's out there. It's very prevalent. It's got a dark purple cover on it. And it's really inexpensive. It's only like $12.95 or something. So definitely go pick up this wonderful book. So yeah, you went to your mom's house.
Yep, we live in Wisconsin, so there's not a lot to do in the winter. So Paige and I, our 15-year-old, were looking for something to do. So we went to my mom's, and decided to make some recipes.
And I was not able to be there because it happened to be quite a busy period of time for work for me. So they were off having fun making all these Disney snacks while I was working, and then texting me pictures of all these wonderful Disney snacks as I'm working. And I'm sitting there going, great, I'm not getting any of this. So I did get to sample some of it. And I'll tell you, these cheeseburger spring rolls were really, really good. They were spot on to what we had, I thought. They even deep fried them, which I tend to get away from deep frying when I'm at home just because I don't want the mess, but they did a really good job with it.
Thanks. I thought they were really good too. Next time I make them, I think I want to try to find, all we could find were egg roll wrappers. So they were a lot larger than what you would get at Magic Kingdom. So you could probably try them with spring roll wrappers, and then I think they would be a little bit smaller. I'm guessing they would taste relatively the same. They'll just be smaller.
Well, and that was the one difference, was that it was an egg roll wrapper, which these are spring rolls at the Magic Kingdom, and that it's a lighter wrap. If you think about your egg roll, it's kind of a heavy, crispy wrap, and these are a little lighter, maybe a little even more crunchy, the spring rolls. So yeah, I thought they did a great job. They do come out pretty greasy there. I didn't think they were greasy when you guys made them.
No, and they were super easy. Like, we just ground some hamburger. I can't even remember what all else was in them. You'd have to look at the cookbook, but it was really easy. It didn't take very long. The longest part was deep frying them. And we just did a big kettle of oil and used a thermometer to see how hot it was, and just put them in that way instead of using an actual deep fryer.
That was one of the great treats they got to make from the Magic Kingdom, and we'll come back to a bunch of those different recipes, and I'll be sure to link the book in the show notes. If you guys follow us on Facebook, or actually this one was on Instagram, I did post a picture on Instagram of this, and it was just kind of this book is awesome type of post. So you can see the cover of it out on Instagram on our account there. So I will definitely put it in the show notes. So where are we headed next?
We're headed over to Cosmic Rays, which when you're at the hub, you make a right into kind of like headed towards Tomorrowland.
Right. We're not taking a right onto the main bridge into Tomorrowland. We're taking the right that kind of heads towards the Tea Party, the Mad Tea Party, and the spinning teacups. So you're gonna find Cosmic Rays, the main entrance down that walkway, and because of the COVID restrictions they have right now, everything's being served out of Cosmic Rays. But across the walkway would be the Cheshire Cat Cafe, where they sell the Cheshire Cat tails.
They're like a puffy pastry full of chocolate and like a vanilla pudding. And then they have some frosting on top in like neon pink and neon purple to kind of make it look like the Cheshire Cat tail.
So when we got to go, it was Easter weekend. It was the Friday of Easter weekend. We sat in the hub for a good hour and just watched cavalcades come by, which was a lot of fun. And part of that wait, the reason why we waited so long is just because it took Cosmic Rays a little time to get up and running that morning. We were a little bit ahead of schedule with getting food, so we had to wait for it to get ready, and that was okay because we had just planned to hang out in the hub at that point anyway. We wanted to catch as many of the cavalcades as we could, and it was a nice time to just kind of sit back and have this treat. Maybe a second breakfast. We had a light breakfast that morning anyway. So an added bonus at this point you may have seen on Facebook at the time was that we got to see Mr. and Mrs. Easter Bunny. They came out and they did like a egg hiding or an egg hunt.
Yeah. I think it was Mr. Bunny hid the eggs on Mrs. Bunny and she had to try to find them, or the other way around. I can't remember now, but it was pretty cute to watch. The kids get a really big kick out of it, especially our youngest one.
Yeah, he was definitely playing up the crowd where he would just kind of chuck one aside and when she wasn't looking, and then she would have to go find it, and everyone would kind of scream and holler, "It's over there! It's over there!" And so that was a lot of fun to watch. Something that we'll probably never see again because I don't know that I'll be there on Easter again. So I was really happy that we got to see that. But these cattails, definitely give them a try. We got 2 of them for the family of 5. I thought it was worth the money. I enjoyed them. I would definitely buy them again.
Yeah, they were really good. This was another one that we actually tried making out of the Unofficial Cookbook. Overall, I thought they were really good. There are a few things I would definitely do differently when making them next time. We put way too much pudding in them, so it was like squirting out everywhere. And when you read the recipe, it's not very clear about how you're supposed to twist the pastry. So it makes it sound like you just twist one end, so then everything like squirted out the other end. So you got to make sure you twist the whole thing, I think, and then it'll seal up a little bit better.
So I had to laugh when I got the picture of these when I was working.
Yeah, they were definitely a Disney Pinterest fail.
And that's how she presented it to me. So the strings of, if you go find the picture from Disney of these cattails, you can kind of see what they look like. But the lines of frosting over these were really thick. So it was hard to see the pastry underneath the frosting, which, like these are like little ribbons of frosting kind of.
Yeah, they're thinly put on there. And that is not what happened when we did it. But, I had an 8-year-old helping me with frosting. Like, what do you expect?
Which is, it makes it all the fun, right? That's a lot of the fun. So it was great that they did it. They were a little smaller than what you would get there, which is fine because you don't need a giant dessert like that for yourself. So,
and in confession, also what happened was you were supposed to buy pastry sheets. I grabbed pastry shells. So I kind of had to like melt them in the microwave and then like roll them out and try to make like a sheet, which didn't work very well.
And I'm sure all that handiness on them kind of ruined the shell.
Yeah, because it says right in the recipe that you shouldn't handle them or roll them out too much, or they'll get too soft and they won't puff up in the oven like they're supposed to. And these definitely did not.
So it's
but
fun.
They tasted amazing.
They did. They were amazing. They were dead on flavor wise. And I've heard from other people that have used this cookbook that these recipes are spot on. So definitely go check out the cookbook. Again, I'll put it in the show notes. Where are we headed next?
That was all I had for Magic Kingdom, other than your typical thing that you're going to want to get anywhere, like your Mickey pretzel, your Mickey premium bar, your Rice Krispie bar, but only the Mickey-shaped ones. Do not waste your money on the non-Mickey-shaped ones. Yes, they do taste different.
And these days, ever since they reopened, they are prepackaging all of the snacks, most of the snacks, something like that. So you need to be really careful with the Rice Krispie treats because some of them are vacuum sealed or at least sealed. And some of them just have a wrapper over them with maybe a twisty tie around it, and they're put on a stick. So those are the ones you want, not the ones that are sealed. Those have probably been sitting on the shelf for a week. I would stay away from those. You're not going to enjoy those. But the ones that you like, when we go to Disney Springs and we get the make your own ones.
Yep, at Goofy's Candy Company is where you can find those.
Yeah. Those are awesome. And we need to start making those at home too.
Yeah. I think usually otherwise we get them at the confectionery. Or is it?
Yeah, it would be at the confectionery. So, okay. So we're, as we said, we're kind of throwing out the usual suspects, which a Mickey pretzel is my go-to anywhere I can get it. And I've told you guys that before. That's something that I just really enjoy with the cheese sauce.
Yeah, I really enjoy the pretzel as well. And I I'm a sucker for a Mickey Premium Bar. I always have to get a couple of those when we're down there. You can get them at the grocery stores, some grocery stores. I don't know. I wish I had one in each hand to actually compare them. I feel like they don't taste exactly the same, but they're still pretty good.
And I've heard that one is made with milk chocolate and the other is dark chocolate. And I believe the one that's in the stores is milk chocolate. So that plays into it a little bit.
And again, I'll just throw out, because we do have 3 kids, popcorn's also a really good option if you have a bigger family, because you get a discount on refills if you buy the popcorn buckets, which are also always a fun souvenir to bring home.
And if you're buying it in the parks, you're going to get a popcorn bucket. It's just a matter of whether you want the normal popcorn bucket, which I believe it's $10 for the bucket filled with popcorn, and then it's $2 refills. If you want the specialty character ones, it depends on what you're getting. It can be anywhere from $15 to $25 for one of those. But you'll also get the $2 refills on those. So it's definitely a good choice if you're going to be eating a lot of popcorn. So I think we'll go to Mikhailo's favorite park and we'll hit Epcot.
It's not the best park, Mikhailo.
Too bad he's not here to defend it. So one of the places that we absolutely love and is a must stop every time we go is France. We love going to the back of the pavilion to the patisserie and getting many items there. This usually ends up being a lunch for us, and we're splitting it all. They have many great sandwiches. They can heat them up for you if you don't want them cold. Like there's a ham and cheese croissant that we get that is nice and toasty when we get it.
Or sometimes we get the same thing, but on a baguette too.
Yes, the baguette sandwich is awesome as well. But this is about snacks. So what snack do you like there?
So I'm not exactly sure what the official title of it is, but I'm going to call it a strawberry tart. So it's basically like a little pie-shaped tart crust of some sort, and it's got fresh whipped cream and really fresh strawberries on it, and it's amazing.
Yeah, extremely fresh strawberries, and there's a strawberry kind of like a gel in there. I think it's kind of a graham cracker crust probably on this, and yeah, it's delicious whipped cream, delicious strawberries. It's something that I have to fight Tammy on because those strawberries are incredible.
Yeah, our kids really like that one. They all really like fruit. So even our son, who doesn't really like anything, really likes that one.
So definitely go check out that patisserie in the back. There's so many great items to choose from back there, including macarons if you guys enjoy French macarons. So the other place that we enjoy going, or one of the other places, is over in Germany.
Yeah, the Werther's store is there, and they have tons of different caramel items, but one that we really like is their caramel popcorn. But you have to eat it right when you get it, because we made the mistake one time of being full and putting it away, and then it was just a stale, sticky mess. So you definitely want to be hungry when you get it and eat it right away.
It comes in a small waxy bag, and so it's not something that you can airtight close up at all, but it is something that, yeah, you definitely want to eat it right away. And so make sure, I think it's $8 or $9 for a bag, and it's not a huge bag, but it's definitely full of delicious goodness that needs to be eaten.
Yeah, it's really buttery. It always reminds me of the caramel puff corn is more like the flavor that I associated with. Like that, the homemade caramely puff corn that everybody makes at Christmas time and stuff, and Halloween. That's what I think of it as tasting like.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good idea of what it's like. And they've got a lot of other really great items in there too. So feel free to join in on any of that stuff. It's, yeah, not something we've tried at home though.
No. I was just looking at our list. I didn't write it down, but someplace we always tend to wind up every time we go to Epcot is Norway. I can't think of the name of. Do you remember the name of the place?
No, I don't remember. It's La Kringla Og Cafe, I believe, is something like that.
So they're known for their school bread, I believe, which we didn't really like. I can't even remember what we usually get from there.
So this is where we got that really delicious cupcake.
That's right.
We got a wonderful cupcake that was in celebration of maybe it was, well, it might have been an Easter cupcake that we were getting, something like that. I don't recall, but it was pretty darn good. Tammy really enjoys cupcakes at Walt Disney World.
No, I do not. They are not worth your money. Like, it's a cupcake, okay? I can go to my local bakery and get a cupcake. Like, there's just nothing that special about their cupcakes that I want to spend the money on a cupcake that I can get anywhere. Like, they have so many unique things. Why would you spend your money on a cupcake?
And I've heard this recently from some vloggers as well, is that a lot of their cupcakes are covered in frosting, which I enjoy frosting, so it doesn't bother me at all. But some of these people have found it to make it way too sweet. So having a cupcake there, you better get ready for that sugar overload, I guess. One of the tricks that they've started doing is that they'll carve a hole into the top of the cupcake, and then they'll fill that with cream and flip over that cone and put it on top. And then they top the frosting on that. So you're not getting maybe as much frosting on there, but it's just another trick that they're doing. I'm guessing wherever you are, you've got a cupcake store or a specialty cupcake bakery in your town. And I think most of these cupcakes are on par with that. I'm thinking about one that's in our town that every time I've gone in there, it's been a dry cupcake, and I've had those same experiences with the cupcakes in Disney World. So it's hard for me to go, oh, cupcake, I need that. Disney seems to think that we do need cupcakes, and they're constantly making new ones all the time. So I think if there's one that looks delicious to you, go for it, but don't think that you have to eat them all.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think part of the reason that they're so popular is all kids like cupcakes usually, and also they can make them very Instagrammable by the decorations that they put on them and how they jazz them up, which is a big thing right now, being able to take pictures of your food.
Yeah, that's a weird thing to me. I always find it funny, like for the 50th, they put out this picture of a cupcake and all it had was this chocolate medallion on it with the 50th logo. And they're, all excited over this cupcake. Maybe it tastes good. I don't know. But I guess you could take a picture with it. So
the other thing I was going to say about Epcot is, as far as snacks go, it's probably the park that we have the least amount of snacks in because of the countries. We're usually always eating around the countries, and we're trying stuff at like the food booths if there's a festival going on, or we have our favorite places like in France. Fish and chips are also awesome. In England, even, you would think it's just fish and chips, but it is really good there.
And I've heard from people from the UK that'll say, fish and chips in the US, they're not good. But then they go and have these, and yeah, they like them. So yeah, it's worth checking out Yorkshire something or other. It's right next to Rose and Crown.
Yeah. So we don't eat a lot of snacks when we're in Epcot because we're just too busy eating a lot of the other foods. But I would definitely check out the caramel corn in Germany and just about anything in France.
I do want to throw in and they don't have it right now, darn COVID. I'm hoping it'll come back soon. But between the Land Pavilion and the Imagination Pavilion is usually a popcorn cart that has 3 different flavors of popcorn. And these are included in the $2 discount. So if you want to go there and get some cool tasting popcorn, that's a great place to go. And we always end up stopping at that one for some reason. I just like going to that one. And so I had to point that one out.
So which park do you want to go to next? Should we go to Jacob's favorite?
Let's do it.
Jacob's her 17-year-old son, if you don't know that.
Which he was on episode 22. Do teenagers like Disney World?
So Jacob's favorite park would be Animal Kingdom. So what do you got to say about that?
I've got a lot to say. I think most of the world now knows about the food in Pandora. They have some great eats in Satuli Canteen. If you have not eaten there yet, definitely check it out. I was a little disappointed when they first opened and I learned it was like create your own healthy food bowls. And I was everyone was raving about them. And I was kind of like, it's create your own. Like, what's special about that? But to go there and try it is a completely different thing. Like, these things are awesome. And you can pick different sauces, your different proteins. And I'm going on too long about this meal. So
that's not a snack.
That's not a snack. But you can get cheeseburger pods, which can be a snack.
All right, I suppose they could be.
So cheeseburger pods, they're really good. Like the pod part, the dough part around it, like that's really good. And it's got the ketchup and mustard of a cheeseburger right on the inside. A lot of people will say it tastes like a McDonald's cheeseburger, but I just think they taste really good.
Yeah, they're a huge crowd pleaser with kids. So if you have some younger kids or even some teenagers with you, it's definitely something to get.
But if you don't go into Satuli Canteen, there is a counter right outside there that sells beers and some other frozen drinks. What's the one thing there that we always have to get?
Well, there's two things there we always have to get. One's a drink and one's a snack. So the snack is called the Lumpia or just the Lumpia? I'm not really sure.
It's the Pongu Lumpia.
Pongo Lumpia. Okay, sorry. So it's pineapple is like the main flavor, like a pineapple cream cheese filling inside of, I don't know, what would you call the dough?
It's like a spring roll, really. It's just that with all that cream cheese in there, it gets a little more soggy, and that's a terrible word to use in this case because they're not really soggy, but it's, I guess, just more flimsy than you might get with a cheeseburger spring roll.
See, now I thought you didn't like those, like the snack, but I really do.
Yeah, I don't really care for it that much. It's just an odd taste to me, I guess, but it's very popular, and like you said, you enjoy it, so we get it all the time when we go. I prefer, and I got to have one of these without you last time. I prefer to have the Night Blossom.
Yeah, I like the Night Blossom as well, but I like mine with the rum.
Yeah, well, we were there at 8:00 in the morning. I didn't think I should start drinking already. But yeah, this is a frozen drink. I have no idea what's in it.
It's pretty colors.
It's purples and greens.
Yeah.
There's boba balls that they put on it. It's just a delicious. It's kind of tart. It can be a little sweet, but
I don't know. I would say that if you don't like really sweet things to try it, it's not super sweet.
So yeah, on a hot day it's wonderful. On a cold day it's going to be wonderful as well. Really, I mean, I just love it. She said she likes it with rum. They do initially serve it as non-alcoholic. You have to add the rum if you want. But it's a delicious treat and definitely shareable.
Yeah, it's a favorite of our 15-year-old. And she always wants to have her own. She doesn't like sharing, but that's pretty typical for her. So.
Yeah, so Animal Kingdom, it's a tough park with snacks, I think. I think they've got their fair share. But you're going to find better meals there, like the pulled pork French fries over at Flame Tree. You're going to get some delicious meal options at the Yak and Yeti Local Foods Cafe, which is right outside the Yak and Yeti restaurant, which we've talked about. So what do we like to get at the Local Foods Cafe there?
So we've had a few different things, but my favorite, again, I'm kind of coming at this from what can I get that's going to feed the most of us for the cheapest amount of money. So their fried rice is really good, and their egg rolls are really good.
They're very good. And I think it's a very cost-effective meal or snack in this case. You could make it both. They have other options that you can add with the fried rice if you want to make it a meal. But as far as snacks go, this works really well for us. And I'll throw out there that there is a small little shop just behind there where they serve turkey legs. So I have had a tasty little turkey leg from there as well. And I'm getting a tongue and a gross look on a face looking at me right now.
I hate turkey legs.
But they have delicious smoked turkey legs. We've talked about those in the past too. So I would definitely give one of those a shot when you get the chance.
I know Animal Kingdom for a snack is also, I'm probably going to mess up the name. I think it's Kambala fries. Some kind of fries are really popular to get there. We've actually never tried them though.
Mr. Kamal's. And we were going to do it this last time, but they were closed when we walked by. I was disappointed.
So those are on my list to try next time we get there.
Yeah. And that's kind of in that same area as the Local Foods, kind of between Asia and Dinoland, like kind of the entrance to Kali River Rapids and head towards Expedition Everest. You're going to find it in that area. So speaking of Expedition Everest, we're going to head that direction and walk right on by it and head into Dinoland to Dino Bites. What do you like there?
We like the cookie ice cream sandwich, which we had never tried before until the last time we went. And they have a monthly one, I think. Otherwise, they have vanilla or chocolate on a chocolate chip cookie, or a shortbread cookie, or
I think the
cookie.
I think the shortbread or the sugar cookies would come with the seasonal or monthly flavor. Pretty sure. So when we were there, they had the strawberry shortcake one, which was like a strawberry flavored sugar cookie. I think that, or was it? No, it was just a regular sugar cookie.
Was a sugar cookie with red sprinkles on it, and then a strawberry ice cream.
And I believe this is Breyer's ice cream that they're serving you. So, at this particular location, these were huge.
Yeah, they're huge. Like all 5 of us were able to share this and feel full after
or at least satisfied, right?
Yeah.
The cookies though, like I'm always expecting some hard crunchy cookie with a sandwich like this, but it's not. They're nice and soft. You could pick it up and eat it without a fork or something if you wanted.
You definitely could. Obviously in the Florida heat, it's melting pretty fast, so it's definitely one that you want to have those wipes handy or a bunch of napkins, especially if you have younger kids.
For sure. My son was also able to try the specialty sundae, so that meant more ice cream cookie for us, which was nice. But yeah, these things are huge and very shareable. And
I think like if there's a holiday during the month, it'll probably be themed towards that. Like I'm guessing for February, you might find the strawberry shortcake one because of Valentine's Day. I think in March, they have like a mint one for St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, so definitely something that you'll want to go back and check back for, see what the other flavors are. So I think that covers everything in Animal Kingdom. Was there anything you made at home?
No, we didn't make anything from Animal Kingdom. Not this time. I have to come up with one for that for next time.
We'll have to figure out. I think the lumpia is in the book. Maybe we could try that one.
That would be good.
Or maybe we can figure out the night blossom. That would be fun.
Do I get to add the rum?
Only if you're good. So that leaves us with Hollywood Studios. I think in the last year or two, the studios is really up to their snack game. They have added, obviously, Star Wars Land and Toy Story Land, and that has given us new treats to try. But one of the tried and true classic treats that you guys, and when I say you guys, I mean my wife and my two daughters, we had just gotten off of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. And my son and I said sayonara to the girls and went off to do Star Wars things in the Star Wars land. And they went and tried this treat without me.
We did. It was incredibly hot the day that we were there, and the girls were just wiped, and they needed some time in the shade of just sitting. So I was able to find like a little table off to the side, and we went and got a carrot cake cookie from the Charlie Cart Cafe. And it was amazing.
Darn you. I don't recall this. I must have blocked it out of my memory. So when she brought this up, I was like, what? Really? I've always wanted to try this. They've also been doing some other ones that are like it. They've done a red velvet cookie like this, but tell us what the carrot cake cookie is.
So Brian had said to me earlier tonight that it's kind of considered like a whoopie pie, which it is. It's huge. It's pretty comparable to your ice cream sandwich that you're going to get at Dino Bites. The size of the cookie is like that big. So it's a carrot cake cookie. And then the filling is, I thought it had a cream cheese flavor. I don't know if technically it does or if I just imagined that in my head, because that's the kind of frosting I'm used to having on a carrot cake. But I thought it was really good. The cookie was really soft, like the ice cream sandwich. It wasn't crunchy. It had a really good carrot flavor. One of our girls doesn't like nuts, and she even really loved this cookie.
Yeah, next time I'm going to say, well, I guess I'll skip Star Wars and have the cookie. So I was kind of jealous I missed this one. This was one that's been on my list for a while, but we went over into Star Wars Land and had a glass of water instead. So there you go.
Not the blue milk.
Not this time. We did have blue milk, though, didn't we?
We did. We had the blue milk and the green milk.
And I like the blue milk.
I didn't like either one, but I definitely like the blue better than the green.
Yeah, the green was okay, but I don't know if it's that the original trilogy is my trilogy, so therefore the blue milk was better, but I just felt like the green one was too sweet for me. And I think people liken that one to Fruit Loops.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, and yeah, it was too much for me. But the blue milk I thought hit the spot. So go definitely try that one out.
We've never tried it, but there's a type of popcorn that you can get in Star Wars Land too that I've heard a lot of people say is really good for a snack.
Katsaka's popcorn. It's sweet and it's spicy and salty, and unfortunately they were not serving it when we were there for Star Wars. It's the only time that we've been there, and again it was still shortly after the reopening, so we didn't get to try this. It is now available. If you have watched The Bad Batch, Wrecker and Omega, they'll go out and celebrate by getting popcorn after they complete a mission. And the popcorn they're getting is the same Katsaka's popcorn. It's like pink and purple colored. Maybe there's some blue in there. So it's really cool stuff, and I really want to get back there to try it.
So while we're in Star Wars Land, what else are you going to get?
Ronto wraps. This was an interesting trip for us when we did this, because we had an early morning Olga's Cantina reservation, which their food there is terrible. Don't eat food there. But we did have to get something to eat after we had gone there. So we knew we needed Ronto wraps. I got one of each kind, which the breakfast one and one of the like lunch or the other normal one that they have. Just thinking we'd each be having a little taste of it, try it out, move on, get something else. Well, my kids were more hungry than that. So thank goodness it wasn't extremely busy, because I ended up ordering 3 more breakfast wraps.
Yeah, I think it was 3 more. Our kids love breakfast. They're all really big breakfast eaters, like their meat and potatoes and their eggs in the morning. So they devoured those things.
They really did. So it's a pita bread is the wrap, and then there's a smoked sausage in the middle. And the like lunch one, the original Ronto wrap, also has some slices of pork and a coleslaw with what kind of sauce is that? Now this is something that Tammy made that day. They made these at home.
I would kind of compare it to almost a Greek yogurt. It had yogurt, cucumbers, lemon juice, and maybe some dill. There was some kind of Paige made the sauce, so I'm not exactly sure, but I think it was like dill or some kind of something like that in it.
It sounds like a tzatziki sauce that you might get on a gyro.
Yeah, very similar to that.
Okay, but when you're eating a Ronto wrap, it doesn't taste like tzatziki sauce. So I don't know. It's interesting. I'll have to go look up the recipe. And this is the sauce recipe was in the book, right?
Yep, it was in there. We cheated a little bit when we made this. We didn't add the pork, and the closest thing we could find for the sausage was kielbasa, so that's what we put on it. We grabbed a bag of already made coleslaw instead of having to buy all the cabbage and the carrots and make it ourselves. So we cheated a little bit there, but I don't know. I still thought they were really good, except for the only type of pita bread we kind of went to one of our small town grocery stores, so you didn't have a lot of options, and the only pita bread they had was an organic wheat pita bread, and it was really dry. But if you would have had a regular piece of pita bread, I think it would have been a lot better.
I'm thinking the pita bread that you can get at Costco in those giant bags would be really good in this case. Yeah, so the Ronto wrap for breakfast, they basically take away, I think, the pork slices and the coleslaw, and they add eggs and a different kind of sauce. I don't remember what it was though.
I don't either. I like at first wanted to say it was like kind of a cheesy sauce, but I don't know that it is, honestly.
I don't know. I'll have to look that up. Maybe somebody has documented that somewhere. The breakfast Ronto wrap, there are notes in there in the book about it, but not a full-on recipe, I guess. But yeah, we spent a lot longer there than we had expected. But this is one of those cases that we were letting the kids drive, I guess, because they said to us they're hungry, they wanted more, and I might as well get them fed instead of having them begging for something 5 or 10 minutes later.
We also had the green and blue milk with us at that point. So I think part of the reason we were sitting there for that long is it took us that long to choke down that green milk, because we had spent all that money on it and we weren't just going to throw it away.
You're funny. It was good. It was okay. I have seen people mix the two and say that that's pretty good too. But yeah, okay. So studios. You have 2 more things listed here. One of them is at Woody's Lunchbox, and I would agree that these are amazing. I've heard some people say they don't care for Woody's Lunchbox. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really good. These homemade Pop-Tarts that they have there, oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah, they're really good. There's a blueberry and lemon one, and then a hazelnut one of some sort. I can't think of what else is with it. Is it just hazelnut?
I think it is just hazelnut.
Okay. But yeah, I mean...
Well, chocolate hazelnut.
Yeah. You think of Pop-Tart, but it's nothing like the Pop-Tart you're going to get out of a box. Like, it's a puffy, fresh, soft pastry with a lot of filling. I don't know. They're just really good. They're warm.
And a lot of flavor. Yeah, they're really good. And definitely worth the hassle of getting into Woody's to eat.
I loved everything we had there. Like, I think I had the grilled cheese and the tomato soup, and it had fresh croutons in it. That was amazing. You had the tachos.
I loved the tachos. I was looking forward to that the whole time. Like, all day long, it was like, oh, tachos, I got to get some of those. So I was very excited to get those.
And those could also definitely be a snack, the tachos, I think.
And also something you could share easily. So, yeah. Definitely go check out Woody's Lunchbox for many different options. One thing you've made at home, but we have not been to prime time for is
the peanut butter and jelly shake, which when Paige said she wanted to make that out of the book, I was like, that's not going to be any good. And it was amazing. And it was funny because right after we had made it, I posted the pictures on Facebook, and one of my coworkers told me she used to go there a lot when she was in college, and she was like, oh my God, that was my favorite place to go. We always had to go get that peanut butter and jelly shake. She said, I have got to try making it. Is it as amazing as what you get there? And I'm like, well, I don't know because I've never had it there, but it was really good and super easy to make. All you need is ice cream, peanut butter, jelly, and a blender. Like, it's that simple.
That sounds amazing. Yeah, we have not made it to 50's Primetime Diner in the Hollywood Studios yet. That will probably be on our list now because I think we're going to want to try this shake to compare it. I did not get to have this one because it's ice cream, and I did not get over there to be able to try it when they made it.
You also didn't get to have it because my grandmother, who is in her 80s, loved it and drank all the extras that she could get her hands on.
All right. So, as we've been talking about the book, it's the Walt Disney Unofficial Cookbook. It's got so many great recipes in it. I believe there's some Disneyland recipes in there even.
Yeah, it has Disneyland and Disney World, and then it splits it up for you by the parks too. So if you really just for some reason want to make something from a specific park, it's really easy to find it in there.
So Ashley Croft, thank you for creating that book because we're loving it. Check out the show notes for that. I want to know what you guys are making at home. What kind of things do you guys make? What snacks are you making at home? We have our social medias out there. We've got the Facebook group. We've got the Facebook page. That's Miles from Main Street. And on Instagram, Miles from Main ST. And on Twitter, we are Miles Podcast. So come on out there and check us out. We have a Miles from Main Street Snapchat. If you guys want me to add you on there, let me know. And then we also have a TikTok that is recently getting started. Mikhailo is working on that one. You can actually see our first TikTok out there from Walt Disney World. He put something out there earlier this week, so go check that one out. So yeah, please give us an email. Oh, that's right, email. We want your trip reports. If you guys are going, have been, you have some special memories you want to talk about, send us an email, let us know, or reach out on Facebook Messenger or Instagram Messenger and let us know if you want to come on the show and share your trips. We'd love to hear some of your memories, some of your trips, and that's how we get by without being at Disney World, is by talking to you guys and living vicariously through others. So let's all do this together. Give us an email so that we can do that. So Tammy, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a lot of fun doing this with you.
Thanks for having me. I've had a lot of fun.
Hopefully we can get her on here again. And Mikhailo, time for Kristen to get on, because now that Tammy's done it, she doesn't have much more of an excuse. So thank you all for listening, and we will talk to you next week. And remember, some live close, but some don't. So let's talk about it.